The stars stretched across the black void, a sea of distant suns and half-forgotten worlds. Jaren Holt pressed his forehead against the transparent alloy of the station's viewport, trying to still the restless churn in his chest. He was a long way from home, farther than most humans dared to travel. Somewhere behind him, the endless hum of the docking bay vibrated in his bones, a reminder that this place, the Waste's hub, was not built for comfort but survival. Jaren had been a maintenance tech once, scrubbing carbon scrubbers on mid-range freighters. Now, after too many bad choices and unpaid debts, he was hiding here, at the ragged edge of civilized space. And that's when he first saw her. She strode through the hangar like a storm contained in armor. 8 feet of dark ceramite plating traced with glowing blue circuits. The helmet was horned, the kind that mercenary clans of the Culdrus Rift favored. But even without insignia, Jaren could tell, this wasn't some ordinary gun for hire. She moved with the precision of a predator, every step a claim of territory. "Who's that?" Jaren muttered under his breath. Dockhands whispered names as she passed. "Thyra," someone said. "Thyra of the Azure Blades." The Azure Blades were whispered about in hushed tones, mercenaries who never lost a contract, who dealt in blood and fire. Jaren had hoped to never cross paths with one. But later that cycle, fate made sure he did. The meeting. Jaren had been repairing a power relay in one of the hub's quieter corridors, tools spread across the floor, when he heard the scrape of armor. He turned and there she was, Thyra, her enormous armored bulk nearly filling the passage. Her helmet swiveled toward him. For a moment he couldn't breathe. Then, with a hiss of depressurization, the helmet disengaged. She lifted it free. Her face stunned him. Not monstrous, not alien in the grotesque sense, but sharp, angular, and otherworldly beautiful. Skin a faint violet. Hair a spill of silver threads tied into braids. Her eyes burned amber, their pupils vertical slits. "You're blocking my access to the recharge bay," she said, voice low and resonant. Jaren scrambled up, clutching his tools. Sorry. Just doing some repairs. I'll move." She studied him for a long, unnerving moment before brushing past. The heat of her presence lingered in the narrow hall long after she was gone. From that moment, Jaren couldn't stop thinking about her. The temptation. 3 cycles later, he found himself near the restricted quarters assigned to high-paying mercenaries. He knew he shouldn't be there. Unauthorized techs risked spacing if caught snooping. But curiosity dragged him like a tide. He stopped outside a partially ajar door. Inside, he heard the unmistakable clatter of armor plates being unfastened. Against every rational thought, Jaren leaned closer. Just a glance, he told himself. Just one. Through the narrow gap, he saw Thyra standing before a mirror. Piece by piece, she was removing her battle armor, setting each segment onto a rack. Beneath the plating, her body was marked with scars and strange tattoos that glowed faintly under the room's light. Muscles rippled under skin patterned in shifting bioluminescent lines, as though constellations lived beneath her flesh. Jaren's breath caught. He'd never seen anything like it. Half terrifying, half mesmerizing. And then her amber eyes met his through the reflection. The door slid open with a hiss. She stood there, half-armored, holding one gauntlet in her clawed hand. "You were watching." Jaren froze, throat dry. I didn't mean." She advanced, towering over him. He staggered back until the cold alloy wall pressed into his spine. "Spying on a blade," she growled, "usually earns death." Jaren's heart hammered. "I wasn't, I swear, I was just curious." Something flickered in her gaze. amusement, contempt. She leaned close, her voice a whisper that prickled his skin. Then curiosity will cost you. Come inside. Test. Her quarters were stark. Only the essentials. Weapons hung on the walls, blades humming faintly with residual energy. A datapad displayed active contracts. Names, bounties, entire worlds marked for destruction. Thyra finished stripping the rest of her armor, standing now in a form-fitting combat weave. She paced around him like a hunter circling prey. "You're human," she said finally. "Soft. Fragile. Why should I not end you for the insult?" Jaren swallowed. "Because maybe I can be useful." That earned him a sharp laugh. "Useful? To me?" She gestured at the armor, the weapons. "I fight wars, human. What can you possibly offer?" He thought fast. "I know the hub systems. Maintenance tunnels, security blind spots, power nodes. If you're running jobs here, I can give you access. I can make your life easier." Thyra stopped pacing. Her glowing tattoos pulsed faintly, as though considering. Then, unexpectedly, she smiled, a thin, predatory smile. "Perhaps you are not entirely worthless." Relief washed through Jaren. Then she added, "But usefulness must be proven. You will accompany me on a contract." His relief shattered. The contract. The job was simple, at least on paper. Extract data from a privateer captain who owed the Blades a debt. Unfortunately, the captain was holed up in a fortified gambling den on the hub's lower levels. Jaren's knees shook as he followed Thyra through hidden passages, bypassing security using his codes. She moved like a phantom, silent and deadly. Her combat weaved shifting colors to blend with the shadows. When they reached the den, chaos erupted. Guards fell before Thyra's blade. Her movements a blur of steel and light. Jaren hid behind overturned tables, heart slamming. At last, Thyra dragged the captain out, pinning him against a wall. Her eyes burned as she pressed a dagger to his throat. "Where is it?" she demanded. The captain stammered coordinates. Thyra downloaded the data into her wrist console, then shoved him aside like discarded trash. On their way out, Jaren almost tripped over a body. Thyra caught his arm, steadying him. Her grip was strong but not cruel. For a moment their eyes met and something passed between them, an understanding, maybe even respect. "You didn't run," she said. "Most would have." "I thought about it," Jaren admitted. She gave a sharp nod. "Good. Fear is acceptable. Cowardice is not." The bond. Over the next weeks, Thyra kept Jaren close. She called him Softling at first, but gradually shifted to Tech. She tested him constantly, sometimes with sudden questions about schematics, sometimes by leaving him in tense negotiations with smugglers while she watched silently. Jaren adapted. Slowly, clumsily, but he did. He learned her ways too. Thyra was more than a killer. She was bound by clan honor, by codes older than the hub itself. Her glowing tattoos, she explained one night, weren't decoration. They were living memories. Each scar and mark a story of a battle survived. And Jaren realized he was no longer afraid of her. He was drawn to her. The betrayal. But the hub was never safe for long. Word spread that Thyra was working with a human, and rivals grew bold. One night, while Jaren was recalibrating a shield generator, mercenaries from a rival clan stormed in. They seized him before he could call for help. "Where's your mistress, human?" one snarled. Jaren stayed silent. They beat him, demanding information. But he thought of Thyra's words. "Fear is acceptable, cowardice is not." He clenched his teeth, refusing to betray her.